Have you ever stopped to think about what truly makes a person charismatic? Many people believe charisma is synonymous with perfection, as if only the most confident and secure individuals possess that magnetic power to attract others. But what if I told you that true charisma actually comes from embracing your own flaws? This might sound strange, I know. After all, we're encouraged from a young age to hide what we consider to be faults, to disguise our insecurities, as if only the perfect version of ourselves is worthy of admiration. But think about it. Who do you truly find irresistible? Is it the person who seems flawless, almost untouchable, or someone genuine, human, and imperfect, who somehow becomes even more interesting because of it? Today, we're going to dive into how accepting our own flaws, rather than hiding them, might just be the secret to authentic, powerful charisma. We'll explore how this acceptance makes you more approachable, more human, and how, in practice, it creates the true magnetism that draws people in. Imagine yourself as an ancient marble sculpture, carved with precision, acquiring marks, cracks, and scratches over time. Each of these marks tells a story, an experience lived, a mistake made, a lesson learned. Now, ask yourself, do these marks take away from the sculpture's beauty, or do they make it even more unique, with a character all its own? Society often teaches us that charisma lies in being flawless, like sculptures freshly molded, without a single crack. But the truth is, what genuinely attracts people is the opposite. These marks, or our flaws, make us more interesting. They make us human, real, and allow others to relate to us. Stoicism teaches us that accepting things we cannot change is one of the first steps to living more peacefully. Accepting our own flaws is part of this process. When you stop fighting what can't be changed and embrace it as part of your story, you automatically convey a sense of calm and confidence. It's as if you're saying to the world, "This is who I am, with my flaws and strengths, and I'm at peace with it." This tranquility is irresistible, because people around you feel they don't need to be perfect to be by your side. Authentic charisma stems from this self-acceptance. When people see that you aren't afraid to show your weaknesses, they feel safe to be themselves, too. This creates a genuine connection, without the need for masks or facades. Instead of worrying about hiding your flaws, you start valuing them as fundamental parts of your personality, as pieces that make you who you are. Think of people you admire. You might respect their self-confidence, but in many cases, what truly makes you connect with them is their authenticity. People who aren't afraid to admit they aren't perfect, who own their mistakes and share their experiences openly, show a rare kind of courage. And that courage has a magnetic effect, inspiring us to be more authentic, too. The truth is that charisma isn't a rigid construct, but an honest expression of who you are. Like a sculpture with marks and cracks, the more you embrace your imperfections, the more unique and attractive you become. After all, forced perfection is one of the most uninteresting things out there. And it's in accepting our flaws that we find what truly makes us unique, what makes us unconsciously, deeply irresistible. The first lesson Stoicism teaches about authentic charisma is the importance of self-acceptance. For the Stoics, accepting what we cannot change is a fundamental rule, and that rule includes our own flaws. Imagine the peace that comes from embracing your weaknesses instead of battling them. When we stop wasting energy trying to hide our imperfections, we become more authentic, lighter, and, paradoxically, far more attractive to others. In the context of charisma, self-acceptance is like an invisible foundation supporting how we present ourselves. A person who accepts themselves, with both strengths and weaknesses, radiates a calmness that inspires confidence. They're not constantly trying to prove themselves, they've already proven themselves to themselves, and because of that, they are at peace. And this peace is something everyone wants around them. It's a kind of quiet strength that doesn't need words to make its presence known. The second essential Stoic lesson is the power of controlled vulnerability. In a world where everyone tries to appear perfect, being vulnerable is an act of courage. Stoicism teaches us that showing our humanity, our mistakes, fears, and frailties, is a way to connect deeply with others. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you create a space where those around you can be as well. It breaks down barriers, dissolves pride, and fosters an environment of mutual trust. But vulnerability needs to be genuine. Being vulnerable doesn't mean exposing everything to everyone, but rather being honest about who you are and your limitations when it's relevant. It's the difference between a random outburst and a conscious opening where you choose to share an experience, knowing it can foster empathy and understanding. This type of vulnerability, when done with intention, builds a powerful connection. And people feel instantly more drawn to you because they recognize the courage and confidence in someone who can face their own flaws. Imagine how liberating it would be if other people's criticism and judgments didn't affect you. This is one of the greatest strengths Stoic philosophy offers: the understanding that what others think of us is beyond our control. A charismatic person isn't easily shaken by criticism because their self-confidence is so deeply rooted that they don't need external approval to feel good about themselves. When you understand that others' opinions don't define who you are, it directly influences your presence. People sense that you are secure and unaffected by insecurities or judgments. This emotional independence is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who are stable and emotionally independent because, deep down, we all seek that same serenity. Together, these three lessons form the foundation for true charisma. Self-acceptance frees us from the need for perfection. Controlled vulnerability allows us to create authentic connections. And serenity regarding others' opinions grants us emotional independence. Rather than striving to be admired for perfection, we become irresistible by being authentic, genuine, and true to ourselves. When we integrate these lessons, our charisma stops being a conscious effort and becomes a natural expression of who we truly are. After all, Stoicism teaches us that the path to inner peace is accepting things as they are, including ourselves. And by accepting this, we project a genuine confidence that doesn't require approval, that doesn't rely on masks, and that effortlessly draws people in. This is the secret to authentic charisma. It's not based on techniques or tricks, but on a deep understanding of who we are. It's born out of the courage to accept our flaws, the willingness to be vulnerable when needed, and the calm acceptance of what others think of us. By becoming this true version of ourselves, we discover that charisma is, in fact, a reflection of our inner peace, a light that attracts those who are also in search of that peace. These Stoic lessons become even more powerful when applied to our personal relationships. After all, it's in those intimate moments with friends, family, and partners that we have the chance to reveal who we truly are without masks. And it's in these spaces that authentic charisma, built from accepting one's own flaws, makes all the difference. Think about how our insecurities show up in relationships. How often do we avoid talking about a mistake or moment of vulnerability, fearing it might make us look weak? How often do we feel pressured to live up to an idealized image just to gain others' acceptance? This kind of attitude creates distance, a hidden barrier that keeps connections from becoming truly deep. By embracing your own flaws, you allow yourself to be seen for who you really are. And this transforms the relationship dynamic. When you're honest about your limitations, your doubts, and even your fears, you send a powerful message that you are comfortable with who you are. This confidence creates a sense of ease for those around you, making them feel freer to be their true selves as well. Stoicism teaches us that we don't need external validation to feel complete. In relationships, this means we're not constantly seeking approval, but instead looking for a genuine connection. By letting go of the need to impress, you start to attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for who you try to be. Another advantage of this approach is the trust it builds. In a relationship, knowing that the other person is authentic and not hiding anything creates a strong sense of security. And, ironically, this authenticity is often what's missing in modern relationships, where people work so hard to impress that they lose connection with their true selves. When someone is at peace with themselves, they have nothing to prove to anyone. This kind of presence is reassuring and magnetic. These stoic attitudes also help us handle conflicts in a much more balanced way. When you accept your own flaws and don't rely on others' opinions for validation, you become less reactive to criticism and less inclined to take things personally. This creates a solid foundation for resolving disagreements without letting emotions spiral out of control. By accepting your own flaws, you not only become more authentic, but you also open the door to connections that are not based on idealizations. And this is what generates true charisma, the kind that makes people want to be around you, not because of who you pretend to be, but because of who you genuinely are. Now that you understand the real secret to charisma, the big question is, how could this change the way you see yourself and relate to others? Think about the times you held back from being honest about your flaws, either to avoid judgment or to seem stronger and more confident than you felt. Most of us have done this, but maybe the biggest mistake is thinking that hiding our flaws makes us more attractive. The truth is that authentic charisma doesn't lie in perfection, but in the courage to be yourself, with everything that comes with it, strengths and vulnerabilities alike. When you accept your imperfections, you stop depending on others' approval and start trusting more in who you truly are. And this not only transforms your self-confidence, but completely changes how people see you and interact with you. Today, I'm challenging you to try self-acceptance. The next time you're with friends, family, or someone special, allow yourself to be genuine. Don't hold back from showing your doubts, admitting an insecurity, or sharing a mistake you recently made. Notice how this honesty can open the door to deeper conversations and more meaningful connections. Stoicism reminds us that by accepting who we are, we gain an inner peace that no external judgment can shake. And deep down, that is the true source of irresistible charisma. A peace with oneself, a calm that attracts because it needs no validation, that inspires because it is built on the courage to be real. By doing this, you'll find that you don't need tricks, techniques, or a perfect image to be someone people find magnetic. True magnetism comes from authenticity and being at ease with who you are, exactly as you are. This is the kind of charisma that lasts, going beyond appearances and creating lasting connections. So the challenge is here, and if you decide to embrace it, you may find that the most irresistible person you can be is the one who calmly and proudly accepts their own flaws. If this message resonated with you, if you feel Stoicism can help you live a more authentic and balanced life, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Here, we're always exploring ways to bring these timeless ideas into modern challenges, helping you become the best version of yourself, human and all. So, click the subscribe button, activate the notification bell so you don't miss out on upcoming videos, and join this community of people seeking to live with more purpose and inner peace. See you in the next video.